Welcome to 5 Minutes of Mime, the longest-running podcast dedicated to the performance art of mime. I am your host, S.E. Engerman. We here at 5 Minutes of Mime, the longest-running podcast dedicated to the performance art of mime, do apologize for the extended delay in the release of this episode. This performance would have concluded at the appointed time, but my tux didn't come back from the cleaners. Mime encompasses the foundation of modern theory and practice on movement of the human body in artistic expression. The silent movement of mime is also important for many practical endeavors not considered performance arts. In any situation where silence or stealth would be considered desirous, mime can be utilized. In recreational and subsistence angling, silence is often critical to avoid alerting game. While the origin of the association of mime with fishing is unknown, we know that this is a partnership that has lasted centuries. Subsistence and community fishing has existed for millennia, but evidence of this form of recreation is relatively more recent. Dame Juliana Berners is credited with the oldest extant writing on recreational fishing. Berners' Treatise of Fishing with an Angle was published in 1496 as part of a volume on hunting and hawking. This Book of St. Albans was a compiled guide to hobbies and pastimes for noble gentlemen. While there is little record of the life of Juliana Berners, we do know she was a member of the Priory of St. Mary of Sopwell, near Hertfordshire. Berners was a nun of the Benedictine order, which may have been related to her interest in fishing. A practice of silence runs throughout the Benedictine rituals. While the nuns and monks of the order do not take vows of silence, they do observe a schedule of times to refrain from speech and generally abstain from unnecessary vocal exchange. It is this habit of silent activity that has allowed the Benedictines to make their historic contributions to the art of mime, as well as this early introduction to fishing as leisure activity. And so, from the 5mm Studios, tonight's performance, The One That Got Away. Dame Juliana Berners' treatise is notably comprehensive, covering the construction of the rod, techniques of tying flies, and advice on the action and etiquette of angling. Thanks to all our guests on tonight's show. If you'd like to learn more, please visit us at 5minutesofmime.com. Join the conversation on our Facebook listeners page, the 5 Minutes of Mime Quiet Storm, and on Twitter at 5 Minutes of Mime. Remember to visit the 5 Minutes of Mime store at TeePublic, and please leave a review for us on iTunes. From the 5 Minutes of Mime team and myself, S.E. Engerman, see you next Thursday. Until next mime, good night.